Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be reviewing Ayaka's second cover album, You on Club 2nd Grade. Before we get started, I want to remind you that this is simply my opinion on the album, and if you enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more. Ayaka is back in 2020, not with a new album, but with a new cover album titled You on Club 2nd Grade. As the title indicates, this is a second cover album. The first one, You on 1st Grade, came out 7 years ago, back in 2013. And when it comes to cover albums, I'm usually always intrigued because I think it's very interesting to hear an artist reinterpret some classic in their own way, and honestly her first cover album was absolutely excellent, so I was really pumped to hear what she would do with this one. So this album contains 10 covers, and the time period goes from the mid-70s to 2015, but I would say the album contains cover mostly from the late 70s to early 2000s. And as always with Japanese cover albums, I discover many famous songs that I have never heard. And it was the case with the first one, and obviously this is the case once again with this one. And I can't really judge or compare to the originals because I try to check a few out. But honestly, I just like to discover these songs through the covers most of the time and see how it is. Also, what I like about Ayaka is that she really selects artists and music styles that fit her own. And you know, there are returning artists on the second cover album, such as Geni Rai and Nakajima Miyuki, or even Mr. Children, all very famous bands and solo artists in Japan. And once again, she has selected famous songs from their early career, which she did in the first one as well. So now let's talk about what I like about this cover album. First, the production, as always, is incredibly neat with Ayaka. She really has a voice that can go with any style, whether it's modern pop song, 70s bubblegum song like on Rouge no Dengon, or soulful ballads. There's just so much that she can do, and so many different artists and period are being represented here, and I really like how she really masterfully sings and makes the songs her own. And I think this album really shows her talent, as always, is pretty delightful. Now, when it comes to the songs selected, I have to admit I haven't been as hooked on this cover album as I wished, because unlike the previous one, this album does have songs that are pretty similar tempo and mood-wise, and it kind of makes it feel more like some filler times on this one, which reduced the appeal for me, because I found myself skipping a bit of those songs after listening to them 1 or 2 times, and especially from songs 3 to 7. I mean, they're fine on their own, but I feel like as part of the album, they kind of slow everything down, and it becomes very repetitive very fast. However, there are some amazing covers on this one, such as Rouge no Dengon, which is originally from 1975 by Matsutoya Yumi, and it really is like such a typical song from that time period. It's very bubbly and cute. Almost more like, it reminds me more of the 60s than the 70s, but it's very peculiar, and honestly it's very hard not to catch yourself humming to it very often. I also love the Geni Rai cover, but it's such a shame that the song is placed where it is, because like I feel like even without noticing I just skip it because it's mixed with all those songs that I talked about that are kind of okay. And it's a shame because I like Geni Rai as an artist, and every time she covers him, she's doing an amazing job, and this one is great on its own, so maybe I'll just make a playlist to listen to it a bit more. I also really like Apollo, which is a lovely cover that really shakes the rhythm a bit. Likewise for the second action cover, which is a very welcome pop electro edition, and I wish it was more present in this album because she really focused, like I said, from the late 70s to early 2000s. And there are so many songs from the last decade that she could cover as well. I hope someday she'll get there. I think my biggest issue with this one is that obviously she picked songs and artists that she really likes. And, you know, very popular songs that makes people want to buy it as well. But when it comes to the sound diversity here, this album feels a bit like a missed opportunity for me because there are so many amazing artists to cover out there and enough different music style to keep it very interesting. And, you know, while listening to this one, I kept thinking that even if she made a cover of, for example, Maria Takuchi Plastic Love, which is a fantastic song, and I can't stop thinking that if Ayaka covered it, it would be amazing as well. And it's a shame, you know, maybe, you know, there are so many things that we don't know about when it comes to making a cover album, when it comes to the song rights. If the artist is okay for you to cover them, which I think is a factor to take into account here. But, you know, I think, you know, on the first one, she covered Moving On Without You by Hikaru Utada, and it was so fresh and different from the original. And I think songs like that on the first one really made it more bolder when it comes to what she picked. Whereas this one feels a bit flat at times, which is really a shame because you can tell there's so many possibilities here. But still, I enjoy this cover album for what it is. It has very good covers, even some excellent ones, and others that are not as interesting to me. And that's why I give this cover album 3.5 stars. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to tell me down below what you think of the album, and I will see you next time.